Welcome back to Garden Talk, brought to you by the Penn State Erie County Extension Master Gardeners. And again, today I'm your co-host, Mike Bailey, along with
Ellen Diplacido. Good
Ellen.
morning, Mike.
Good morning, yes. So how are you today?
Good. A
Good,
little
good,
chilly,
good,
but I'm
good.
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 Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've, I know this isn't going to probably get aired for a couple of weeks, but boy, the last few days we've had some miserable weather, haven't we?
Right.
Okay.
We sure have.
Yeah,
Hmm.
snow and cold and everything like that. Here we are, the first part of May, but hopefully by the time everybody hears this, okay, the weather is going to have warmed up. It'll be nice and bright and
Right.
sunny, and everybody will be out in the garden. In fact, that's what we want to talk about today, isn't it?
Right.
Plants.
How are we going to start planting?
Yeah,
Hmm.
getting those annuals and vegetable plants, okay, for the garden. And as you think about doing this, one of the most important things, and I got a couple things that I think are important, is a little bit of planning, right? Right, Alan?
Oh, that's right. We got to make sure we have planned ahead.
Yeah, you got to plan.
Yeah.
Do you have a sunny
Hmm.
location? Do you have a shady
Hmm.
location? Size of the garden,
How
what
much?
kinds of things you
Right. How
wanted.
much days?
In fact,
Hmm.
I have to tell you this. My wife and I, we were over at the local garden store this past weekend, and she says, "Oh, I could stay in here forever, and I could buy this and that." I go, "Wait,
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Do
it's
we have
still
a plan?
it's still snowing out. Okay, we're not buying
Yeah.
all this stuff. I'm not taking care of it for 2 weeks."
Right.
She says, "Well, we'll have to come back." I said, "That's coming back is fine, but
Yeah.
we're
Yeah.
going to come back and we're going to we'll have an idea with what we really wanted. We didn't.
Hmm.
We came there in preparation for Mother's Day, not for
Right.
planting the garden. So
Right.
I
That's one of the things you want to make sure is that you're ready to plant when you decide to go to that garden
yeah,
store and start buying.
in that
Yeah.
being ready to plant means including to have that site prepared, right?
Right.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you
Make
know,
sure you've prepared the soil.
yeah, I prepared the soil and have it dug up, and so that you can come home
Right.
and put those plants into the
Hmm.
ground soon, not
Hmm.
later.
Right.
One of the
Right.
things I really
Sooner
hate
than later.
one of the things I really hate to do is to go to a place like that, buy plants, then bring them home and try to hold them for 2 weeks while I find the time to either prepare the site or put them in the ground or do this, that, or whatever,
Right.
or to
Or the
wait,
weather is
yeah,
cooperating.
or to wait for the weather, you know,
Yeah.
because
Right. Right.
if I set those plants out in my yard, okay, in a holding pattern, I know what's going to
Hmm.
happen. They're probably going to dry
Yeah.
out, or the little bunny
Hmm.
rabbits are going to get them, or something like that.
Hmm.
No,
Hmm.
I don't want to
Right.
I don't want to babysit for 2 or 3 weeks. Okay,
Right.
go to the store when you're ready. Okay, to plant the garden, uh, and, and and do it that way. And also, you
Right.
have to wonder: is the season around here? Is the weather around here
Uh
ready
huh.
for that type of plant?
We ready? Yes.
I would probably hesitate to
Right now.
buy tomatoes, in the middle of
Uh huh.
May when you're not going to be able to plant them until the end of May, and and
Right.
and with your warm weather crops, there's no sense of putting them in the ground early, because you know what they do? They just sit there, and they
They
get
sit
it,
there. They don't do
and
it.
they get
Right.
exposed to the elements. They get exposed to pests,
Mhm.
and they get exposed to potential diseases. You want to
Mhm.
buy warm weather crops when they're ready to go in the ground, when the soil has warmed up, so that when they hit the ground, okay, and you water them a little bit, there's going to be the potential for growth
Right.
right away, so they get off to a nice, good, healthy start.
Right.
Okay, the
And all
neighbor
that frost is gone.
and all that frost is gone. And that neighbor who
Yeah.
puts his tomatoes into the ground 3 weeks before you did, okay, to try to beat you to having the earliest tomatoes. Guess what? Okay,
You're
yours,
still going to beat him.
you're still going to beat him because you waited for the soil to warm
Right.
up, and
Mhm.
that's the
Mhm.
way it goes. So
Mhm.
don't worry about that. Warm weather
Mhm.
crops will catch up dramatically. Okay, once the soil warms up. Fine. Is
Right.
putting in cool weather crops is wonderful. In fact, I've done that. I've planted some seeds for cool weather crops, and even did it at Emmaus
Right.
last week. Also,
Right. And I
uh,
have too at my house. Yeah.
you're right. Now it
Yep.
got a whole
Mhm.
lot colder than I expected it to.
I know. I'm
For the
hoping that that's okay,
so
but
maybe we're going to end up replanting, but
we might have to.
that's how it goes. Okay, with gardening, but when you're there
Right.
when you're there at the garden center, when you're looking for
Uh-huh.
plants, Ellen, what should you look for? Uh, you know,
Well, you
Go ahead.
first of all, you want to make sure that you're only buying what you want and what you have space for.
Okay.
And is it time to plant? But one of the most important things is finding healthy plants. Make sure that what you select are healthy and they're going to grow for you and produce for you.
Okay, what's a healthy plant look like? Hey, it's
Well,
nice and big and bushy. No.
yeah, well, you want to make sure the foliage, no, I mean, you want to make sure the foliage is nice and green and not discolored or yellow. Um, but you don't necessarily want that plant to be huge because that might just turn out to be a lot of foliage and no fruit on it.
Yeah. One of the things one of the rule of thumbs that I use for, purchasing of annuals and even vegetable plants, I'd rather have short, sturdy, healthy looking plants than
right.
bigger. Okay, I don't want to buy a tomato or a pepper plant that's already starting budding.
A foot tall.
Already putting out flower buds. No, it needs to acclimate to the soil a little bit and needs to establish a root system before you get to the point where you want it to, start producing fruit. In fact, if I find plants that are like that, in fact, some of the ones I'm growing here in the house, some of the pepper plants are starting to put buds on them. Okay, I got to pick them all off. Okay, just because I've had to wait. We were going to use them for the plant sale, and the plant sale got canceled. So now I got all these plants. But I'll take these flower buds off of those plants when I get ready. When they're a little bit more obvious, I can see the little tiny ones starting to form. When they get a little bit bigger, I'll actually pull them off, so that I give that plant some time to acclimate in the soil and to grow, before I expect it to produce fruit.
Right.
So, Ellen, we are already looking at our time limit for today. So we're gonna pick up on this discussion in the next session. So thank you for listening today.
Okay. All right. Talk to you later.